The Go 3 Ultra isn't being marketed as a replacement for the Go 3S, so no, this isn't the Go 4 that we may have expected. Instead, it's being positioned as something different entirely. But how different is it really, and where does that leave the Go 3S? Is this just an oversized sidestep, or do we really have a unique camera here that can do its own thing and can set itself apart from others? So let's take a look at what it is, how it compares, who's it for, and whether you actually really need it. Every camera in the Go series has got a little bit bigger and a little bit heavier with each release. And this one is no exception. It looks like the Go 3S on steroids. It's 30 grams heavier, and even though it's slightly slimmer and slightly shorter, it feels and looks a lot bulkier. And for the first time, we can't say it's as small as my thumb, because now it's more like two thumbs, which doesn't quite have the same ring to it. Both models follow the same modular design, so a separate camera and a separate action pod. The action pod charges the camera and gives you a more traditional single lens action camera feel, and there's an LCD screen on the back. But the Ultra takes it up a notch with a much bigger LCD screen that's 2.5 inches across compared to the 2.2 inches of the Go 3S. And it still flips up, which is perfect for vlogging or checking out your shot from any angle. And on the outside, you've got the usual expected functions. A power button, a quick menu button, a record button, a USB-C charging port, and a quick release switch for detaching the camera from the action pod. And the lenses look pretty similar. The Ultra is slightly bigger, and they both come with removable lens guards. Underneath though, things have changed, and Insta360 have yet again changed the mounting system, so it's not compatible with the Go 3S. And no, before you ask, it's also not compatible with the Ace Pro 2 or the X5. I bring this up in nearly every single Insta360 review, and it's still annoying. Loyal Insta360 users are left with drawers of accessories that aren't compatible with from one model to the next. And in my opinion, that's just not how you build brand loyalty and brand trust. So there's a new rubberized grip texture on the body of the action pod here. And there are also these two small holes on the corner. And this is where you can attach a quick release safety cord. And this is included in the box. In the box with the Go Ultra, don't expect to get too much. You get the camera, the action pod, a USB-C cable, an easy clip, and this is good for backpack straps or for mounting to your shirt or your top. And you get the classic magnetic pendant mount. And you can now adjust the angle on the mount as well. And that's it. You get no quick release mounts that mount to the bottom. You get no GoPro fingerstyle mounts, and you get no 1/4 inch threaded mounts. You'll need to buy them separately if you need them, but there is a whole accessory ecosystem to choose from. And the quick release connectors that you can get that attach to the bottom of the action pod, the same with the Go 3S, they also attach to the back of the camera. Once this is powered up, the new screen on the back, it really does stand out, and you can really see that it's much bigger than the Go 3S. It's almost the size of the Ace Pro 2. The user interface is familiar, but it's easier to navigate on the Ultra thanks to bolder menus and a redesigned shortcut menu with clearer text and icons. And there are a few important new features worth mentioning. There's Active HDR, which is a game changer in tricky lighting. So when the sun's behind you, where you'd usually get blown out of skies or crushed shadows, now you get a more balanced exposure. And they've also added pure video mode, and we've seen this in some of their other cameras. So it's a low light enhancement, and it's borrowed from the bigger Insta360 cameras like the Ace Pro 2 and the Insta360 X5. And this genuinely helps in darker environments where the Go 3S would usually just fall apart. In some of these image comparisons in daylight, the Go Ultra sometimes pushes the exposure a bit too much. And here with the summer house, the images of the Go 3S look more natural with nicer contrast, colour and texture. The Ultra definitely handles more challenging scenarios better and gives you a wider dynamic range. Look at the colours and the detail in the clouds here. There's so much more detail in the sky. And this driving shot through the trees really does show off the Ultra's smooth auto exposure, and again its ability to hold on to the details in the clouds. Both cameras shoot in 4K, but the Ultra bumps up the frame rate to 60 frames per second compared to the 30 frames per second on the Go 3S. And that gives you more flexibility for slow-mo shots and just smoother footage in general. Battery life has always been a weakness with the Go series cameras, and with the Go Ultra it has improved a bit, but out of the Action Pod this camera is still not brilliant and it's way off of the advertised spec. You get 40 minutes of standalone runtime outside the Action Pod, and inside the pod I recorded for 2 hours 19 minutes in 4K 30 frames per second. And that record length in the Action Pod is pretty impressive. And if you are just using the camera on its own, you're meant to be able to put this back in the Action Pod and then get the battery level up to 80% within 12 minutes. Well, I did try that and I could only get it to 66% in 12 minutes. So the battery life of the Ultra with the camera out of the Action Pod is more practical than the Go 3S. I think with the Go 3S I got 32 minutes out of the Action Pod, but it did still have a very impressive runtime in the Action Pod of 1 hour 57 minutes. Physically, the Ultra camera out of the pod still does feel compact. It's shorter and slimmer in some ways than the Go 3S, but it does feel chunkier overall. And weight wise it's 53 grams compared to the 39 grams of the Go 3S. One major upgrade is that there's now a built-in memory card slot on the camera itself. So you no longer have to deal with a fixed internal storage like we had with the Go 3S. So if you run out of memory you can just simply swap another card. So this is much better for workflow and for general flexibility. And even with the added card slot, the camera out of the pod is still waterproof to 33 feet. And as already mentioned, we've still got the magnetic capability of this camera and you can attach it to any metal surface. And the Action Pod still works as a live view remote control when the camera is detached. One genuinely exciting new accessory is this Ring Remote. So this is a tiny Bluetooth controller you wear on your finger. And it's great if your camera is mounted out of reach like on a helmet, and if you want full control without touching the camera or using the Action Pod. And if the camera is out of reach you can now also connect an external Bluetooth mic like the Mic Air. So the camera doesn't have to be too close to you to get good audio. So the Go Ultra feels like it's split between two identities. It's not the Go 4 and it's not really a sidekick to the Go 3S either. It's kind of an upgrade with all the spec bumps, the higher frame rate, the bigger screen, the memory card slot, the ability to use an external mic, etc. And it's also a downgrade with the heavier and bulkier design. And that's what makes this camera so confusing. So where does this leave the Go 3S? Well, if you already have one, then you're probably fine sticking with it unless you particularly want a slightly longer runtime on the battery when the camera is out of the pod, or if you want a bigger screen, or you love the idea of having the memory card slot or the Bluetooth mic capability. In day-to-day use though, the Go 3S is still a very capable camera, and it's actually more flexible in a lot of ways because it's so much smaller out of the pod. And in the pod as well. But if you're new to the Go series camera lineup and you want a tiny action camera that can be used out of the Action Pod and also in the Action Pod as well, and that's very capable in low light, then this camera might be the one to get. So for me, this is not really the next step in the Go story. It's more of a remix. It's kind of more practical, more powerful, but less minimalist. And whether this is a win or not for you will just depend what you expect to get or you need to get from a camera of this size. Let me know in the comments, does the Go Ultra make sense to you? Were you thinking of upgrading from the Go 3S, or would this be your first Go series camera? And if you want to see more camera comparison videos, you can watch this video next, and I'll see you over there.